I'm live. Yo, 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 boys and girls, guys and gals, doing a nighttime one today. A little different than doing the morning, but thank you all for being able to tune in. A couple things I want to mention to properly delay to allow some people to enter the room here. But shout out to Anti School. So, Anti School offered to have me come on his program today. We just recorded a video that he'll be releasing on his channel, probably tonight, I believe. So, shout out to Anti School. We talked about some of the things going on, and I hope he hasn't released it yet because that would take away from some of the things I'm going to say here. But anyway, shout out to him, and thanks to everybody who watched my morning chat video this morning. Just kicked it for a little bit. Thank you all who tuned in. And I noticed that, man, I'm sure picking up some trolls on this channel. I uploaded that video and then I checked the comments like 2 hours later, and my lord, trolls just infesting the comment section. And it's amazing because they like group together. You'll get an obvious troll comment, and then it'll get like 20 likes on it. So they're all liking all each other's troll comments just to make them, go up to the top so everybody sees it. But anyway, uh, thank you guys for tuning into that. But now, looks like people are ending in the room. Hey, everybody. Thank you. And let's get into some of the news. There's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about in this one today. We're going to talk about the Meteors. We're going to talk about Trump at the Pentagon with basically a lot of his staff, Secretary Mattis, the VP as well. I'm going to discuss why I think he's there. We're also going to talk about Pizzagate, some stuff seriously about to hit the fan, and possibly some secret space program disclosure hints that an executive at Lockheed might have let slip out. I've got some thoughts on that I want to share with you guys, so stay tuned till the end to hear those. But anyway, first and foremost, I want to show you guys this post from 4chan in regards to the meteor in Michigan. So as you can see here, an anonymous poster posted on Sunday, January 14th, right? Watch the news in eastern Michigan tomorrow. If anybody asks, you never saw this post, I'm doing this for you. Poll. So, interesting, right? This was 2 days before. I just saw this like yesterday. I wasn't even aware of this 4chan post. And here, there is literally some pre-confirmation that something was going to go down in Michigan, right? Well, let's see. So, of course, we have the meteor in Michigan that I discussed in my news video from yesterday, I believe. And I made the speculation right at the beginning that there could have very well been something shot down. It didn't sound like a meteor to me, especially with there being an explosion. If there was an explosion, or if it actually hit the ground and created a crater, you would think the mainstream media would be on the scene instantly if it was an honest meteor. But they haven't been. In my Facebook group and by some folks on Twitter, I had heard some testimonies that some really weird things were going on. Multiple bright lights being around and odd occurrences, right? Well, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll also know that I posted these pictures that were also sent my way. I relayed this one. So this one I had mentioned in my last news update, but this one I have not. It's another one. Very odd, right? And some people are saying light pillars, okay? I get that. Light pillars are being seen around. A lot of energetic changes going on with our Earth, our solar system, our cosmos. But that's not pillars. That's pillar, singular, one pillar. And, with the speculation of this whole Michigan meteor being maybe a satellite shot down, maybe some kind of secret space program craft blown up, who knows? Is this a directed energy beam? Again, who knows? And not only that, but we have more meteors. So check this out. It says here, a second meteor I forgot to pre-zoom into all of these, so I'm going to do it through the broadcast. Second meteor sighted in Indiana and Ohio. Interesting. And this was just a day after the one in Michigan. So it's saying another, and look, I love how the media is putting it, possible meteor. Remember with the Michigan one, they said likely meteor. And then not only did we have one in Indiana and Ohio, but also, you guys, Edmonton, Canada. Another fireball lighting up the skies just last night, a day ago, over Edmonton, Canada. Weird. 3 of these happening all in the same general-ish area, right? So I'm thinking some kind of, whether it's satellite or craft or something of the sort, is being taken out in low Earth orbit. That's my opinion, okay? Space war, right? Space war, seriously. And it's heating up. And synchronistically, check this out. So on Futurism, right here, they posted this article on January 16th. Researchers propose using lasers to zap potentially dangerous space debris. What a coinkydink, right? That Futurism would be posting this. So I don't think these were just space debris, you know, with all the circumstances going on. It could have been Cabal satellites, could have been something to that effect being taken out. But anyway, I'm really having my eyes to the skies these days, looking for fireballs, looking for things, okay? So moving on to the next subject, I want to talk about Trump being at the Pentagon. So Trump goes to the Pentagon for talks, and this article says here on the potential government shutdown, but here's the thing. Donald Trump went to the Pentagon, and he was joined by his Vice President Mike Pence. He was joined by Defense Secretary Mattis, and also some of his other chiefs of staff. And check this out. As per military.com here, reporting on this one, they're having their talks in a highly secure tank in the Pentagon. So they're probably in a SCIF, sensitive compartmentalized facility. A SCIF is where it's basically a room that's shielded from all electromagnetic waves, and they can't take anything in there, so nothing goes in, nothing goes out. And so they're having a very secure talk, right? Well, if you remember last news story, last news video that I did, I also mentioned this hypothesis on the Hawaiian missile situation, okay? So just to briefly reiterate here, this is saying that the reason that we had the Hawaiian missile strike is because it was done by the good guys to access specific data that was in secure NSA databases in Hawaii. Now, the only way for them to access that data in those secure NSA databases is to have some kind of alert go off where that would then make that data do what's called a bulk data transfer, and it would transfer it to the mainland, right? So it was actually, yes, the Trump missile scare was supposedly done by the white hats, but it was for the greater good to access that data in the secure facility and have it transferred to the continental United States here. Now, so is Trump having these secret meetings with his military chiefs in the Pentagon in a SCIF to check out that data? That's what I've seen some possibly say, and I wouldn't doubt that at all. So, you know, very interesting that Trump is having these very secure talks. And speaking of which, right? I now want to show you a couple pictures of military aircraft that have been seen or basically tracked over North America. So I've seen 2 pictures from people tracking flight data. And some numbers I've seen thrown around is up to anywhere from 80 to 120 to even 160 military aircraft all in the air at the same time over America. That seems like a pretty high number. I don't know what the average number might be for any kind of exercises or whatnot, but that seems like a lot. And not only was I shown this picture, I found this picture as well that somebody was checking out, and just a lot of aircraft, lots and lots. So what's going on? I don't know. All kinds of speculations we could have as to why so many military aircraft are in the air. Checking for space debris. They checking for, who knows what. Are they checking for private jets trying to skirt the country? But anyway, shit's going down. And in evidence of shit seriously going down, I'm going to show you two people's Twitters. And I mentioned these, or I shouldn't say I, but Anti-School, Isaac, shout out. We talked about these on that video he's about to upload. But Dan Bongino, former Secret Service, just tweeted about 2 hours ago saying, my sincere apologies for the expletive, but shit is about to hit the fan. The former Obama administration is going to have a lot of explaining to do. He's saying hashtag Obamagate. Not only that, but Bill Mitchell, who is saying he's hearing through his network that all hell is about to come down on Hillary, Obama, and the whole deep state, right? So like I said, things are going to get fun. And more evidence of that coming from True Pundit here discussing Sarah Carter. Now, Sarah Carter, if you don't know, was referenced in the QAnon emails as being a journalist in the mainstream media that is specifically tasked with outing certain information, with being a person we could trust, right? And she's saying that bombshell revelations in Congress classified FISA abuse report could end Mueller's investigation of Trump. So not only do we have hashtag Obamagate about to surface, but hashtag FISAgate. Somebody commented, absolutely, hashtag FISAgate. We're having a new gate come out every day. So much is going on. So this is why the Democrats, and I don't want to say the Democrats, of course, because that plays into that duality, that divide and conquer programming, but I want to say the deep state. The deep state is threatening government shutdown. Of course, CNN here saying government should shut down in 48 hours. Do you see the neuro-linguistic programming of that headline there? They're not saying it could potentially shut down. They're saying it is going to shut down. They're really going for that fear porn, that fear programming there. So that's why the deep state is threatening shutdown, is because they know that all the shit is going to hit the fan. And not only is CNN reporting, oh yeah, the government's going to shut down, but check out Newsweek here. This article is absolutely ridiculous. Newsweek is saying, just a little earlier today, Hillary Clinton could still become president if Russia probe finds conspiracy evidence. Of course, because they know the Mueller investigation is going to end, but by damn it, they have to continue controlling the minds of whoever still believes this BS. Are you serious? Hillary Clinton could still become president? Is she going to have to wear an ankle monitor her whole presidency? And have a, upside down cross? You see pictures of that? Her, upside down cross lately? It's ridiculous. Anyway, Hillary Clinton could still become president if Russia profiles conspiracy evidence. Really, Newsweek? Well, speaking of Newsweek, great news this week about Newsweek. Manhattan District Attorney raiding the Newsweek headquarters. This news going around the blogosphere just now, just this afternoon or evening. About 24 investigators, it's saying here on the New York Post. Of course, Newsweek is reporting on this. But 24 investigators from Manhattan's DA's office raided the offices of Newsweek and its parent company, IBT Media. Okay? So that's fantastic news. Newsweek being raided. Let's hope that these raids extend to NBC, CNN, CBS, the Washington Post especially. Uh, all the ones who won the fake news awards, right? So that's good news there. Now let's move into Twitter still being exposed. You know, speaking of large corporate deep state companies being exposed, Twitter's still getting thrown under the bus by Project Veritas doing work on them. But another engineer admitting on hidden camera that Twitter is doing some bad stuff, saying that the company is colluding with oppressive governments to ban their users, in this case, the Chinese government. But it says here, carefully choosing his words, former Twitter engineer Conrado Mirando conveys to an undercover Veritas journalist that the company works with countries such as China, not just China, such as China and Iran, to censor users upon request. Somebody commented, Veritas equals heroes. Absolutely. Bye, Jack. Bye, Jack. So anyway, moving on. More weirdness going on at airports. Another day, another hashtag gate atrocity, and another airport debacle. So check this one out. Another Delta flight, right? Another Delta flight. If you've been following my posts, I've told you guys my theories on Delta. You know, I just wonder if Delta kind of has some into the alliance, where if somebody boards a Delta plane that is a bad actor that they want taken down, that alerts, and then they divert that flight. We've seen it on United flights and others and whatnot, but it seems like Delta is always in the news for something like this. But a flight with 131 passengers on board had to make an emergency landing at LAX and just took off. So it's not like this one was too far into its flight, but just took off, had to redirect back to LAX. They're saying it's due to mechanical problems. So in this instance, that's an excuse I can believe, you know, with these, rocket-propelled vacuum tubes, essentially, that we still have in the air that are 80 years old, working on Grandpa's technology. Just want my anti-gravity craft already. But anyway, I can believe mechanical problems, but, again, circumstances, weird. We seem to have another flight diverted every day, and mechanical problems, I mean, they shouldn't have mechanical problems. I figure that they have eyes on these crafts. So anyway, just wanted to make that known. Anytime I see weird plane instance these days, I will throw it in here. And speaking of airports, this isn't a plane diversion, not really a airport evacuation or anything like that, but hundreds of passengers at Chicago O'Hare, the True Pundit is reporting, may have been exposed to measles. And the only reason I'm showing you guys this article is because there's a line in here that says, those most at risk for catching the disease are those who have not been vaccinated. That's just bullshit. Don't get your vaccines, guys. Don't inject yourself with poison and then screw your immune system up. That's all I wanted to say. Moving on. Let's talk about this pyramid article. So this one's been circulating past couple of days. What's hiding inside Egypt's Great Pyramids? And there's still, I mean, you figure, so these scientists are still sending robots, and it's saying here like fiber optic cables, trying to find what's down these corridors and in these voids that's under the Great Pyramid. They can't figure this out after decades or hundreds of years. They can't figure this out with radar techniques or LiDAR. I mean, they can figure this out, right? So, stepping back, why? Why are they reporting on this now? Okay? Acting like they don't know about some void in the Great Pyramids. Well, for a little more clarity on that question, let's go to Newsweek. Speaking of Newsweek, is this a kind of distraction? Check out this headline. So they're saying Great Pyramid void may contain mysterious throne carved from a meteorite described in ancient texts. That's a big difference from what Live Science is saying on it. They're just asking what's hiding in it. Tiny robots may find out, yada yada. It's pretty low key. not really putting any kind of sensational ideologies on it. If that's a word I want, sensationalism on it. But right here, Newsweek is saying, oh yeah, it might contain a mysterious throne carved from meteorite described in ancient texts. That's just shooting for the moon there. And it's as if, they're, as you know, the deep state is trying to use, they want distractions. They're trying to reach for any distraction they can right now, right? And as evidenced, we still have this UFO story. Again, the UFO subject is crucial to understand. UFOs themselves aren't a distraction. It's all these UFO stories that's coming out in the mainstream media right now that's the distraction. And it's still going around. The Boston Globe still reporting on it. That Navy pilot saying, oh, we have to take UFOs seriously. We need to take them seriously because when we released that story in mid-December, nobody really gave a shit. Everybody had too much fluoride in their brains that they were still, right? So they're still needing to circulate this story and get the idea into people's heads. So the Boston Globe still reported on it on the 16th. So this is one distraction they have, right? It's one contingency plan. This pyramid story, it's another one. Do you see? It's like they have all these cards in play that if they need to run with a distraction story, then they can. Antarctica as well, as many truth reporters have said over even the past year now, not just a few months, but year. Antarctica could be one of those stories. Pyramids could. That Oumuamua, a big cigar-shaped, you can call it an asteroid, craft, if you will, thing, that could be one. This could be one. You see? And lastly, check this out. So let's talk about that Lockheed disclosure. Bloomberg is reporting here, and not just Bloomberg, but many, let's see, Lockheed, SR-72, lots of news outlets reporting on this one. So Daily Mail, Live Science, Bloomberg, the Lad Bible, Sputnik, The Sun. So they're all reporting on America's fastest spy plane may be back in hypersonic. So what happened is that a Lockheed executive was giving a talk. His name was, checking for his name here, Jack O'Banion, a Lockheed vice president, said that a digital transformation arising from recent computing capabilities and design tools had made the development of this hypersonic craft, what they're calling the SR-72, possible. He said, without digital transformation, that aircraft you see could not have been made. So, does that mean the aircraft was made? Okay, few thoughts on this, right? It's saying that a supposed SR-72 hypersonic aircraft could very well be made, but here's the thing. So I am going to offer you some keywords and people to look into. One, the people are Edgar Fouche. He and another man named Nick Cook. They are aerospace researchers, aerospace experts essentially, who discussed what's called the Aurora program. You might have heard of the Aurora program before, but this is said to already exist and be a secret program that was developed at the top secret S4 facility. S4 is like the more secretive brother of Area 51. S4 is at Papoose Lake, I believe. But anyway, the Aurora program is said to have been developed there back in the 80s and 90s and contain, already have the replacement to the SR-71, which would be this guy, the SR-72. And not only does it have a replacement in this, but as I've mentioned before, for instance, in my video I did on anti-gravity, the Aurora program also contains the TR-3B, the black triangle, that completely utilizes electrogravitics, anti-gravity if you will, and also mass cancellation technology. Very, very deep esoteric science there. But these things have existed for at least a couple decades now. And also, a dot to connect here, but Ben Rich, as you guys might also know, Ben Rich is the former director of Lockheed Skunk Works, which is what the executive that was kind of spilling the beans on this here was. He was executive there. Ben Rich was the second director of Skunkworks back in the 80s and early 90s. 70s and 80s. But anyway, Ben Rich, right here, that is a photo of him. And here's a quote of his. He said, "We already have the means to travel amongst the stars, but these technologies are locked up in black projects. It would take an act of God to ever get them out to benefit humanity." That act of God is all of us just raising the consciousness. But anyway, he says, "Anything you can imagine, we already know how to do." Another quote of Ben Rich, he said, "We already have the technology to take ET home." And this was decades ago, guys. So this little disclosure by Skunkworks, by Lockheed here, that's not a mistake, right? It's not a mistake. They want to ease out this secret space program information. And you also got to understand, these UFO disclosures have connections to Lockheed. That'd be a good video for me to do. I might actually do that within the next week or two, is do a little bit deeper of an expose on this UFO mainstream disclosure. I'm going to call it a PSYOP here, because there's direct connections not only to John Podesta, but to various people at Lockheed's and to some Air Force generals. And they're trying to do what's called a partial disclosure. I've mentioned it and others have before, but basically they're trying to distract us all by the pedogate and storm and disgusting dark stuff from coming out by, oh, let's wow everybody with some UFO stuff and secret space program stuff and anti-gravity and some free energy, right? And give them a little bit of the truth, but not all of it. And that way we can hide the rest of the crimes that will really implicate the deep state, right? So anyway, that's just the points that I wanted to make on this. I don't think this was a mistake, leaking out this information, this going around mainstream media circles. Understand that in secret space projects, they have much, much greater, deeper, more amazing science, anti-gravity, free energy, life extension, literally portaling technology, stargates. Absolutely. Just go watch Star Trek. Basically, that stuff already exists. We just got to get people to understand it exists and not think that it's all fraudulent stuff, you know? Seems to be the common thread in the trolls these days, is trying to really attack the secret space program and UFO subject. And of course, you know, the storm and Pizzagate. Speaking of which, one thing I do want to throw in here real quick. And speaking of the storm, a day ago, the Southern Poverty Law Center, it's basically this slander website, ran an article on conspiracy meta theory. The storm pushes the alternative envelope yet again. As Q said, the conspiracy pushes on, and also the psyops, the CIA psyops are on too, to really confuse the shit out of everybody with the whole UFO extraterrestrial secret space program topics as well. So anyway, that's why I talk about them all, you guys. Some people are like, "Oh, Jordan, stop talking about space. You need to focus on these issues." Heck no, man. I'm going to report on what I want to report on, and it's all connected anyway. So Pedogate is directly connected to non-terrestrials and the secret space program and everything else as well. Directly connected to geoengineering and vaccines and GMOs and pharmaceutical corruption and dead doctors. It's all connected, guys. But I'm going to quit ranting for this evening. Get a little bit more heated at night doing these than in the morning. So anyway, have a beautiful evening, guys. Go check out the Anti-School for the video that I just did with him. I think he'll be dropping it tonight. Shout out to him. And keep checking back in for some videos. Take care, guys. Peace out.